If you think $60 for a game is too much, well, it seems like publishers disagree. Here's a game that has a $93 season pass. Yes, $93. You did not hear me incorrectly. Dead or Alive 6 had a full $60 release, and its season pass isn't $20, it's not $25, it's not $30, $40 would be a little bit too expensive, $50 for a season pass would be way too excessive, but $93, come on now, gonna take a look at the content that comes with that season pass, and why this is absolutely goddamn crazy. The Sinking City is one of those games that isn't getting a lot of attention. It's coming out relatively soon, March 21st. A new detective gameplay trailer has come out, and I do want to highlight the game a little bit ahead of its release. A new PlayStation VR title in Ghost Giant has gotten its release date, so that's another game I want to highlight. Unfortunately, Our World has ended, a game that I'm personally very much looking forward to has been delayed, not a significant delay. It'll be out on April 18th. When are we going to see more of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, or when are we going to see it for the first time? Well, that'll be on April 13th as a part of the Star Wars celebration in Chicago. That'll be our first glimpse into what Respawn's Star Wars experience has to offer. And we've got a brand new first-person puzzle platformer, Metamorphosis. It's been announced for PlayStation 4, and I want to highlight that game as well. So a lot of interesting titles to highlight. More on Metamorphosis at the end of this video. First off, we gotta talk about Dead or Alive 6. A lot of you guys gave me some flack for saying that this was a game to wait for a sale on or wait for a complete edition, because I imagine a complete edition would be released at some point. Come on now, the game is $60, and even that, $60 for a fighting game, okay, if you're super into the franchise, I can understand why you're gonna pick it up. But inherently, these days, fighting games are just littered with DLC content, season pass content, and Dead or Alive 6 is no different, but it is raising the bar in terms of the excessiveness of the content. Dead or Alive 6 has a season pass that you can buy right now, and it's listed as Season Pass 1, so there's gonna be multiple season passes, and Season Pass 1 is priced at an obscene $93. What are you getting with Season Pass 1? Well, you're gonna get 2 new characters that are released during the period of March 2019 and June 2019, and you're getting a total of 62 costumes for the characters. Now, I imagine the 62 costumes is where the bulk of the price is coming from, but come on, $93 for a season pass? I don't like it when there's a $40 season pass, but God forbid a $93 season pass. That is just way too crazy. This is just being normalized way too much in gaming. I get the idea of needing to have DLC because a game is big budget. In the case of Dead or Alive 6, how much resources was really put into the development of the game, I don't know, but this doesn't seem to be a bigger budget experience, but still, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. A $20 or $30 season pass would have sufficed. A $93 season pass where it's just Season Pass 1 and there's gonna be more season passes? That is just mind-bogglingly crazy to me. Not to mention that this game has a digital deluxe edition for $80. With the digital deluxe edition, you would expect that, hey, that's the complete experience. I might have to pay a little bit more than $60. $80 is a steep price to pay for a single game, but hey, I'm really excited for Dead or Alive 6. I want all of the content. $80, here you go. That's not even gonna get you all the content. That's gonna get you one character, a couple of costumes, but man, just so much content locked behind DLCs, and you can tell me, hey, if you don't like it, don't buy it, but I also have to voice my opinion. And if you're okay with games suddenly having $93 season passes and this not even including all the content for the game, it's just Season Pass 1, I don't know what to say. You're just gonna be normalizing this for more developers and more publishers to do this, and then it's just gonna be common practice in gaming where some people are then dropping over $120 to get the complete version of a game. Obviously, for the majority of our consistent watchers, this is a game that you're probably gonna wait on a sale for if you're excited for it, if you have any interest in it. But man, a $93 season pass really does turn me off. Hopefully at some point we get a complete edition for the game. It's bargain priced at like $30, and that'll be the Dead or Alive 6 the majority of you guys pick up. But for now, $60 for the base game, $80 for the digital deluxe edition, and a whopping $93 for the season pass. Alright, let's just move on from that for now. The Sinking City is a game that's not being highlighted much. It's coming out March 21st, and it's another one of these detective Lovecraftian titles, and we just got a new gameplay trailer. The game looks pretty good, and I do want to give you the overview of the gameplay trailer. The gameplay video plunges the player straight into the game's mysterious universe. Charles Reed, the detective, is scouring the streets of Oakmont and investigating the cause of the supernatural elements and madness that are devastating the town. As Charles, the players will be completely on their own in their investigation, helped only by their observational skills and their trusty notebook. They'll need to explore crime scenes, collect information, and question the inhabitants without any hints or assistance. While some challenges might be easily resolved, others will require using Reed's unique abilities, such as retrocognition, which allows him to replay past scenes. In order to succeed in their investigation, the player will need to collect clues, figure out what they have in common, and try to back up their theories using one of the game's essential tools called Mind Palace. While it'll let the player submit their hypothesis about potentially guilty parties, it will never tell them whether they're on the right track. The player will have to accept the consequences of their choices. Sinking City looks to be a pretty interesting game. I'll leave a link to the gameplay trailer in the description box down below, but the game is due out on the PlayStation 4 very soon, March 21st. Another game that's due out very soon is the PlayStation VR title in Ghost Giant. That'll be coming on April 16th, and it's coming from developer Zoink Games, and Perp Games will publish a physical edition on April 19th. Here's the overview of Ghost Giant from Zoink. This exciting puzzle adventure filled with warmth and charm sees a lonely boy named Lewis befriend a giant ghost visible only to him. As the Ghost Giant, you'll have to carefully build trust with Lewis and help him through small, big, and sometimes overwhelmingly huge obstacles, discovering the true meaning of friendship along the way. Zoink's aim with Ghost Giant is to recreate the feeling of exploring a doll's house in VR by lifting furniture off the roof and playing around with trinkets and furniture inside, while also giving players purpose and sense of scale to deliver something truly special and memorable. You're not just a manipulator from outside the screen, you're really in there participating in Lewis's world and being recognized by him as a friend. Again, Ghost Giant, a pretty interesting title, will be hitting PlayStation VR digitally on April 16th, and a physical copy will be dropping in Europe exclusively on April 19th. Next up, Our World Is Ended is a game that I'm very much looking forward to. It follows Judgment 7, a team of young developers working on a brand new game engine called the World Program. It's a story-driven adventure. Unfortunately, it is seeing a little bit of a delay. Now it'll be released digitally on April 18th and physically in Europe on April 18th. Unfortunately, the physical editions will launch in North America on May 7th. Digital pre-orders will begin on March 4th, and pre-orders for the physical edition will include a 100-page art book and keychain of the protagonist Owari Sekai's mascot character. Our World Is Ended is touting an engaging story with lovable characters. It'll have you visit iconic Tokyo landmarks and outstanding production value with talented and renowned voice actors, as well as gorgeous visuals rendered in a unique art style. They also mention it's a sci-fi story that turns into an unforgettable journey, and it does also note to expect over 40 hours of gameplay. A deep narrative and plentiful conversation options make for a lengthy visual novel full of humor and otaku subculture references. So of course, a more Japanese-oriented game, probably not going to be up everyone's alley, but if you are fans of games like Danganronpa, Our World Is Ended is a title to keep an eye on. Again, it'll be dropping digitally April 18th, physically April 18th in Europe as well. North American physical release will come on May 7th, and if you pre-order the physical version, you will get a 100-page art book, so that's a nice inclusion as well. Moving on from that, Respawn is in the news right now after the release of Apex Legends. Titanfall has seen a surge, but they are also working on a single-player Star Wars title in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and the game will finally debut at the Star Wars Celebration in Chicago. That'll be held on April 13th, so we're finally going to see Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order in action. Now, this is just a few months before E3, so I would imagine that a bigger gameplay demo would be dropping at EA's E3 press conference, and we'll just see a little bit at the Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is to be released in 2019, so the game at this point is probably pretty far along, and what we're going to see at the Star Wars Celebration is probably somewhat indicative of what we're going to see in the final release, and I imagine, again, we'll see even more gameplay at E3, but we'll get our first taste of Jedi Fallen Order on April 13th. And lastly, I do want to quickly highlight a first-person puzzle platformer in Metamorphosis. It's been announced for the PlayStation 4, and it's coming from the developer in Ovid Works. The game's description says this: you awaken one morning to discover that you have been transformed into a tiny bug. This is rather inconvenient as your friend Joseph is being arrested for reasons unknown, and he can't recognize you like this. To save your friend Joseph and to find the answers you seek, you must embark on a perilous journey through a strange world which, like yourself, has turned twisted and unfamiliar. What once seemed like mundane dwellings has become an expansive obstacle course, and you'll have to leap, climb, and chart your path through the dingy nooks and crannies that exist within the cracks of civilization. Metamorphosis is described as an extraordinary adventure through surrealist landscapes. Use your wits to unravel the truth and return to the life you once knew. Pretty interesting description of the game. Again, a first-person puzzle platformer. We don't have a release date yet, but it is set to come sometime this fall. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, Dead or Alive 6, a $60 release, that's whatever. The digital deluxe edition is available for $80, and then there's a season pass, and it's only season pass 1, that's available for $93. That's absurd to me. The Sinking City has gotten a new trailer, the detective gameplay trailer. Do give that a look. Ghost Giant, a PlayStation VR title, will be coming April 16th. Our World Is Ended has been delayed until April 18th. We're gonna see the first of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order at the Star Wars Celebration in Chicago on April 13th, and the first-person puzzle platformer in Metamorphosis has been announced for the PlayStation 4. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.